Hey guys, it's Mangarees and it's time for X Hunter Manga Chapter 364 review. And guys, I am not very pleased. The chapter was good. Yes, it was good. I enjoyed the chapter. But there was a very dark moment in the chapter that has put a damper on my day. So, if I sound boring or sad, it's because of that damper. I will address it at the end of the review. Now let's see what this chapter was about. Now last time where we left off was that Prince Benjamin was like, yo, these people, I'm gonna kill them, but first I'm gonna study them. And what he did, he specifically planted and strategically planted bodyguards from his group in each of the other princes' defense team. That is in their security detail. So in my security detail, given that I am a prince, all the bodyguards don't work for me. One of them work for Benjamin. Now, we also have to remember that what is important here is that there's no way that I want to become king, right? And I'll get along with Benjamin. Because if I want to become a king, then I'll have to kill Benjamin. I'll have to kill Syrian. I'll have to kill Wobble. I'll have to kill all the other princes in order to become king. And that's something that they addressed last week, given the definition of eliminated and stuff like that. Now, it's also important to note that Benjamin gave special orders to his security that he placed in each of the other princes' guards. He said that, you know what? If push should come to shove and you are in a tough situation, please act in self-defense and exercise your rights. Now, when I first read this, I was like, alright, cool, self-defense. And then the next thing I know is that this guy straight up went in and killed a maid because she opened the door for him. So that's where we left off. Master Vincent, Lord Aardvark himself, went and he killed a maid for Prince Wobble. That's the prince that Kurapika is guarding. Now, this week would have expected that there would have been a fight and stuff like that. But it's also good to remember that over the past 2 or 3 weeks, what we've been doing is we've been getting introductions to most of the princes, what they're about, their personality, how their peers revere them, or their father, the king, revered them as well. So, you know, it's been more of a get to know the characters kind of thing going on. But this week it was very Kurapika centered. It was very Kurapika focused, and there was some massive character development. But screw that. I don't like talking about character development and pacing. That's just boring. That's what everybody else does. I love talking about what grinds my gears in this chapter. And what grinds my gears is the way that Kurapika handled the situation. And what I learned about Kurapika, guys, I was not happy about it. It surprised me. Now, let's see what happens in the chapter. Kurapika restrained Lord Aardvark. And for those of you who are familiar with my channel, Lord Aardvark is Vincent or Master Vincent. And what's happened here is that he stole Vincent's power. Now, remember that in chapter 361, what happened in that chapter was that Kurapika was under attack by a man who was being controlled. It was one of his guards actually was being controlled by an Endies, and he stole that person's power. Not that person, but he stole the person's power. Well, borrowed it, given that the person said, you know what, use my ability. It's that serious. And what happened is that he has an ability where he can use that power, he can equip it and use it. And in this chapter, what he did is that he gave that ability, which gives him the ability to control or manipulate is a better word to use here, smaller animals or insects, and he gave that ability to Princess Oito. Princess Oito is the mother of King Wobble. Well, he's not king yet. I think he's gonna be king. I'm jumping my guns, right? So she's the mother of Prince Wobble, and Prince Wobble is the prince that Kurapika is guarding. He's just a baby. I don't think he knows anything what's happening. Now, Kurapika restrained Vincent, and Kurapika took Vincent's power. Now, I never knew that Vincent was using aura. I never thought that he had Nin. And it's very important what happened here. Because when Kurapika took Vincent's ability, he was speaking to his accomplice. He was speaking to his partner, and he said something, and he put his finger at his mouth while he said it. And right in my live reaction, and there's a link in the description for live reaction, I was saying that, you know what, this seems like a bit strange that Kurapika would have done that, and I even pointed it out. And the next thing we know was that Prince Benjamin, and who seems to be is, I think, okay, given that he's in the army, I think that he has some advisor or something like that. So what happened was that Prince Benjamin and his advisor, I call him his advisor for now, Yes, Prince Benjamin and his advisor was trying to figure out what it is that Kurapika did, what's his ability, how it works, and why Vincent was defeated so easily, because Vincent never used his name. That's their argument, right? And then they were saying that maybe it was a conjurer, no, maybe it was a manipulator, and they don't understand why Vincent went out the way he did and stuff like that. So he was a little bit shaky on what to do. And the strangest of thing happens, the way that Benjamin process that, he was like, so that's it. So he's getting excited at the challenge, and you can see the berserk look on his face. I'm just like, wow, this guy's a threat. Because for me, anybody who is opposing Prince Wobble is a threat. And what he later does was that he got another guard. I don't remember his name. Nope, I do not. It's a weird name. It's Maingada, Mind Ball, something like that. That's one fucked up name, right? His mother never loved him, people. There's no way you love your kid and name him something like that. So the guy whose mother never loved him was assigned to replace Vincent. And the strangest and most unprecedented thing happened for me. Because in that very moment, Prince Benjamin gave the order to all his other guards that says, you know what? In the event that you're under attack, and trust me guys, they're not going to be under attack. They're going to cause the attack, right? Because what we've seen from Vincent is that he's the aggressor here, and he's using the escape. He's using the excuse that, you know what, he's a part of the royal guard. And this is something Kurapika pointed out. He says that, you know what, I was acting in self-defense. And Kurapika even said that, you know, it's really like that given his status, any story that he gives will be perceived as the truth, and it will be really tough challenging him. So what Prince Benjamin said, you know what, if you're under attack, use your nen and try to figure out the opponent's ability. Now, I have no qualms that Prince Benjamin is listening on the other guards as well. I don't think that Kurapika was the only one of interest to him. I know that he wanted to kill Serenity first thing in the morning, but his advisor was like, no, wait up. So what is going to happen going forward? It's going to be a bloodbath. I said it from week 1, 2, 3, and now we're at week 4. Given that we started at manga chapter 361 for this year, I've been saying it's going to be a bloodbath going forward. And it's also important to know that Kurapika has guards in each of the, not all of them, but in 5 or 6 other princes team. You know, with Melody and Hanzo and others. And even Bisky is there, guys. And it's also important to note that Kurapika can't particularly communicate with them given the restrictions and the situation, because, you know, the phone lines are jammed and there's a public line, but if he says anything there, they'll find out. So it's really a tricky situation Kurapika is in. His solution, however, was that, you know what, he's going to use Seirei's ability that he's given to Princess Oito, because he can only equip one ability at a time. So at the present moment, what's happening is that he has Vincent's ability in the syringe, but he can't process it, he can't analyze it or anything like that unless he has a dolphin. And the dolphin is what really gives the analysis and explains how the ability works, what's it mean, the category and stuff like that. So Kurapika can't really get an understanding on that ability until he's used Seirei's ability. And what he's done is given it to Princess Oito. But Princess Oito is now going to use that ability to try to control a fly or a mosquito, so that Kurapika can get a free shot to understand the ability whether or not he wants to use it or not. And this is where the dark truth came to reality. It came to light, you know, cats out the hat, skeletons out the closet. I did not like it. Kurapika said that he can't maintain Emperor's time for too long because... Alright people, let's take a look at how Nen works before I really get into this. He says that he can't keep Emperor's time for long because every second that he uses Emperor's time equates to 1 hour taken off the user's lifespan. Now, let's take a look at how Nen works. So know that the more restrictions and the more conditions that has to be met in order for an ability to be used means the stronger the ability is going to be. And given that you're sacrificing your life, much like Gun sacrificed his life force, and there's a potential to beat Pito, I think that what Kurapika is doing here is basically selling his soul. He's killing himself. He never explained this to Gun and the others when they were in York New City, right? And going forward, we have to note that using Empress time is not going to be something that you say, okay, I think I'll use it. No, it's going to be like, shit, I got to use Empress time or I'm going to get killed. And either way is dying, because there's not an opponent that he's going to fight using Empress time that it will be perfectly fine for him to use it in 3 seconds and win the match. I'm talking guys like Phaeton, Nobunaga, because you know the spiders are coming for him. They're also on the ship. They're also headed to the Dark Continent. So those guys are coming for him. There's not going to be an opponent. There's not going to be an opponent that Kurapika can beat that quickly. So whatever he does is giving away his life. I know many of you guys might mention that Aluka and I might be able to fix that, but for now we don't know where Killua is. And the last thing we saw of Gon was that he can't use his name. Guys, it's been I don't know. I know that Togashi has something in store, and there might be a backdoor to this ability, you know, the drawbacks. There might be something that's, you know, that's been missing. But guys, it's really something sad that I heard. I'm not happy about it. It put a real damper on my day. But you know what? I'm not gonna dwell on it too long because I think that it will work out fine. I'll have faith in Kurapika, even though he seems to have a death wish, right? But guys, it's been a really good chapter. There was a bit of fighting, not too serious because Vincent was pretty. He wasn't okay. Perhaps he was strong, but he wasn't able to show that strength today. Not in this chapter, not in this fight. Nah, and it was sure as hell not gonna be Kurapika. I'm not getting at that. So with that, it's been Manga Reads. It's been Hunter X Hunter Manga Chapter 364, and guys, I am waiting for the anime to return. I don't know when because currently I don't think we have enough chapters to start animating and release. So maybe in a few months, a year. Whenever I get news on that, I'll post you. So subscribe for more. Like the video if you did, comment whatever your thoughts are. And thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it.